welcome to podcast 193. It's just me and Ty.
Skeleton crew.
Yeah, man.
Or is it the best crew?
Clearly, we're the ones that show up or don't have lives.
No, I like the first option. We're the committed ones.
The best of the rest.
The best of the rest.
So we're gonna do a little 5PL season 3 recap over the regular season and then kind of the playoffs that have happened so far.
I dig it. You know what I don't dig? Fantasy baseball.
I haven't even looked. How's it going?
I'm losing 9-0 right now.
9-0.
9-0. And
wow.
I'm digging an early hole.
Those are hard to get out of, I found out, because that's what I did last year.
Yeah. The week started off really good. I was like 5-5 the whole week. And then something happened today.
What happened?
I don't know. I probably should have been watching.
Just nobody batted, nobody pitched for your team.
No, I got like 3 home runs. I was like, wow, this is so awesome. What a great day. And then nothing else went well.
I am currently losing 7-3 apparently, so that sucks.
Well, it's better than 9-0.
That's true. And I did beat you in the first week, so I'm automatically going to be ahead of you still.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
That's nice for you.
How is your fantasy golf going?
I may have forgot to look this week.
Yeah, you should really set your lineup.
Well, we're a little past that.
Doesn't start till tomorrow. You're good.
I think lineup closes at like 3 a.m, doesn't
it? Thursday morning.
Right? Thursday. Well, I got all 6 playing, so I'll be all right.
Oh yeah, you're crushing it.
Yeah, I thought the golf ended after the Masters, so I didn't bother to look.
Just golf ended just after the first major of the year.
So many tournaments. And they're always like, this is a really big one.
Yeah.
But when you're making really when you make $3 million at every tournament, I feel like they're all pretty big compared to our.
It's true. I did see a stat today. 120 tournaments played between Rory McIlroy, Jon Rahm, and Scottie Scheffler. Scottie Scheffler's won less majors, less tournaments, a few more top threes, but he's like $2.5 million ahead of those other guys because he's won the Masters compared to those guys win like the Open Championship or something like that.
To be $2.5 million ahead, not just I've won $2.5 million.
Yeah,
is bananagrams.
Yeah, pretty insane stat.
I may have picked the wrong sport.
We all did.
Yeah, true.
Not just you. We're all here. We're all digging it. Like, what would you say? Because you're obviously very young in your career, but through bowling, all the cash tournaments that you've played, what would you say the random amount of money you've won is?
I would say I'm close to 40K.
Right. And how much is spent trying to win that 40K?
I feel like I've been pretty efficient.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah. I don't know. I've probably spent like a good, there's like 5 tournaments a year. Let's say like $1,000 a tournament for the last 9 years. 4 times 9, 30.
You're not that efficient.
No, not that efficient.
I feel 1,000's probably a little high. Maybe 1,000 for the destination tournaments.
Yeah, that'd have to average out, I guess, because like TPC, I don't spend anything other than like entry fees.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
It would be kind of neat. I know the tournaments keep their money totals and stuff like that. We should pull at least the WCBT years and see what cash has been brought in. We know Mitch Davies will be high. We know Dexter will be high. But
Brad too, because Brad's won 3.
Yeah.
And like those wins add up fast.
Yeah, they do. especially if you got them later when entries are around 250 entries, not back when I was winning stuff, like when it was like 200 entries or 180 entries. They didn't add up very fast.
It's funny. Like, I do remember the first few years of like the winner would get, somewhere between like 3,000 and 4,000. And at the time we were like, wow, that's a lot of money. And now we're like pushing the like 7, 8, 9, 10 number. And I'm like, if I won and only got $3,000, I'd be a little sad after that much bowling.
Back when I won, like, I think the one year I won like $4,500. It was like, man, that set me up for like the next 3 years of bowling tournaments. I was happy. I was like, that's fantastic. But now, yeah, you're right. You should walk away with like 7,500, right? That's insane.
Yeah. How much money are we talking in Pro League? Should we talk about that?
Yeah, we probably should. Oh, I didn't bring in that. Ooh.
Carrie.
Well,
the one thing people want to know. What are the paychecks?
See if I can pull it from. Oh, let's not do that. Don't mind the backsplash. It changed for a second. But here is the budget for the year. So
the budget. I love it.
The budget, yeah. So the league champs are taking $15,000 home. Just over 15,000.
We'll call it 16, and you got 8 players. It's $2,000 each.
$2,000 each. Not bad for a $2,500 entry.
That again is split between 8 people.
8 people, yeah.
And maybe a sponsor if your team is smart enough to get one of
those. Yeah, there's a few teams that are offsetting their franchise fees. So literally playing for free besides whatever deal they got with their proprietor and their gas and however they're getting to the lanes and stuff like that. But not too shabby.
I had to put my glasses on to read. My old man eyes were kicking in today.
Oh god, just wait till we bring up the standings. You have to like lean in to see them.
Oh. God, my pores are going to be on display today. Or turn down the HD camera. This is impressive. If Kathy, $7,000 for 4 games, that's efficient winning.
I'm guessing that's a TSN or a CBC.
Oh yeah.
Back when there was money in bowling, besides our own money.
Besides the money that we were putting in, yeah.
Yeah. Where do we want to touch off on this? Do we want to talk about high games or what's going on?
That's a great question.
We could talk about what was Next Gen averaging per game, you think, for the regular season. Me and Ty discussed this a little bit beforehand.
Poll the audience. What do you think was which team do you think had the highest team average? Because Dynamite was up there too. They threw a lot of big games. And what do you think said average was? Carrie's going to do some quick maths for...
Yeah, Kathy's was TSN. Look at that.
TSN. I remember watching TSN when I was in kindergarten, but I remember watching
it. So, if nobody wants to take any guesses.
Oh, we have one.
1,450. That's
a
pretty
high.
Good guess.
That's real high. Bill. They're tight. Solid.
Oh, people are going to be so upset when they actually hear the numbers. So, here, I'll just do it this way. The Dynamite were averaging 1,364, let's say, per game. 1,364. It's a 272 average.
That's impressive. For a 5-player team, that's solid.
It's not bad. It's not bad. What do we all think Next Gen averaged?
Somewhere between 1,450 and 1,350.
1,428, 285 average. Look at that.
1,428. That's impressively close. I'm assuming that's probably Steve that commented from the Motor City page.
Yeah, that would be my guess. He was probably scoping it out. He did a lot of pre-gaming. Hey, Tim, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Wow, fashionably late.
Oh yeah, it turned out be a lot tougher.
We run a
lot of no
strict
shows.
we run a strict timeline on this show, Tim.
100%. You probably started it 3 minutes ago.
I can't believe you disrespect us like that. There's actually a nice little clock in the top left corner that says live for 11 minutes. So
nice.
Look. Yeah, we actually started on time to make fun of you more the later you were.
I don't blame you.
We were just discussing what Next Gen's team average was for the season.
Oh yeah, it's probably high.
It was 1428.
1428 as a team.
Wow. No. I mean, okay, so you take away yourself and Jenna, and
it still doesn't matter.
Yeah,
what do you think the low average on the team was for the regular season, Tim?
Or who? I can't even tell you. Everybody's got one high game at least in there.
Mm-hmm.
What about 260, like 265?
Actually, you're a little high. There's 2 people at 260.
That's our bench players.
It was Haley and Maddie.
Oh, not necessarily our bench players.
But then there was 266, 267, 295, 299, 303, 314.
Holy crap.
That's crazy.
What was the Dream Crushers high game of the season?
High game?
Yeah.
We play out a Sherwood Bowl. We play out a Sherwood Bowl.
Yeah, but I thought you guys were like the best bowlers ever. Like, first season champs.
What do you mean by a single person or a team total?
Team.
13 something. 1370?
1376.
There you go, there.
And it was the first game out of the block. And we took 2 points. So, yikes.
Yeah.
I'm not really too worried about that, to be honest with you. I mean,
the view's pretty good when you're on the wrong side of the hill.
Well, the season's over, Tim, so we don't have to worry about it.
We almost had a chance to play today. Almost. We almost stepped in.
It's fair. That's fair. It was a bit of a struggle trying to schedule championship finals and stuff like that.
You know what? I think that should be part of the clause, eh? Like if somebody can't play Dream Crusher automatically.
Next season, playoffs are going to be scheduled way ahead. All these teams have to book their lanes, commit, and if they fail, then maybe we get some money in our pocket because there will be fines handed out.
Yeah,
I don't think the Dream Crushers would have been next in line.
Yep.
You just don't know
as commissioner, I decide what happens.
Oh, right.
I am the captain now.
There's no bias here.
Yeah. No, it's kind of goes with what it is, right? Yeah.
Should we discuss when we'll be seeing the next playoff matches and then maybe look at the playoff bracket?
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, sir, I do want to touch base. I don't know what it is with the Rock and Rollers and Toppler, but they always have good matches. And Monday night, I'm not one to really just get into it, but I was like, what else is going on Monday night? And I tell you what, they lived up to expectations. Both teams going down to the 10th frame again. It was awesome.
Yeah. Way to spoil our graphic that we were going to bring up and all that stuff, Tim. But
no big deal. That's a so 2 day ago thing.
So what do we want to go through the playoff matches, you think?
Yeah, let's pull that up.
Okay. So first matches we're going to bring up are the 4-5 match, and then the winner moving on to play the 1 seed. So on the home hardware side, the Schwartz home hardware side, we had the Motor City Mayhem playing the Venom in a 1-game winner takes all match. 6-2.
It was close too. Like you can see 7 points for total. Like,
yeah, it came down to the last bowler, I do believe.
Yeah, Matthew Harms punched in 10 for Venom. And I think Ian had gone in as anchor, or it was Matt Houston. I can't remember. And I think he got tapped on the second shot, maybe.
Right.
It was close.
Yeah, by 7 points, right? It had to be close. Doesn't matter where.
Yeah.
Like the team total flips everything.
Yeah, it's one ball.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then on the Cargill side, with the Revengers playing the Misfits, the Revengers just took off right from the beginning. They had like 3 opens in the first 7 frames or something like that. They were putting marks together. Shot 14-14, just a solid game. Unfortunately, the Misfits just couldn't answer. Schultz played really well. Took the single point for the Misfits, but yeah, it was the Revengers came to play. They were ready for that first match, that's for sure.
They saw a chance to, prove their name, the Revengers, and they did it in one game.
Yeah.
You can see the next ones didn't go in their favor, but
yeah,
I don't think Misfits really could have done anything. I mean, you watched it, and from the get-go, the Revengers were just on fire, right? So nothing to do with the Misfits by any means. It just kind of happened that way.
Yeah. So obviously the Revengers went on to play the Dynamite, and the Dynamite did exactly what the Revengers did the first game. They just started out hot. They didn't miss. They didn't leave any unsparables. They were on fire. Scotty shooting 400 at the bottom just to rub it in a little bit. Unfortunately, he didn't get the 1500. He had a chance at it, and he missed.
That's just a little surprising from your anchor bowler. You think they'd be a little bit more clutch than that.
Yeah, just
not to mention shooting
just 408, but whatever.
Yeah. Talk about consistency, though. On like the right-hand side of that, you've got 14, 14, 14, and on the left-hand side, you got 12, 12, 12.
Yeah.
Seems like you wanted to be the home team.
Yeah. In this block, the home team definitely took it home. And then obviously on the other side, we have Next Gen, who 6-2, 6-2, solid wins. Ty, I heard you didn't play very well. What happened?
I did not. I had many life things on the brain, considering I am helping my partner move to Calgary in 2 weeks.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, I was really, really good at not hitting my target. And then when I finally figured out how to hit the middle, I punched in 10 to lose my match. So I said, Des, maybe just sit me for the next one.
Maybe I just don't belong here.
Yeah,
Just,
and
take me
if you really need me, I'll come in and I'll be better. But then our ladies team with asterisk Brad shot like 20 marks in a row, so they didn't need me.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was great to watch. I mean, looking at you look at in a playoff match, maybe it's not necessarily the lineup that everybody thought was going to be up there. No offense, but I tell you what, shows how deep you guys are if you guys can run like that, right? So it's kudos to you guys. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you had Madison and Julie. They shot 300s in the first game, right? So how do you even consider taking them out of lineup? You got to put them back in.
Well, and so we did. Like Des and I had kind of chatted before the match, and we were like, okay, this is what we'll do game 1, and then we'll probably do this game 2. At least in terms of like who is going to sit, and then in terms of our lineup, we're like, well, we'll see how it's playing. And we actually were thinking about putting Madison on like the permanent bench the second game, and then she comes out and shoots like 304, and we're like, so what do we do?
Yeah. I do want to touch on this. Steve Barker was on the call with them. Yeah, they had to go to Scottsdale lanes. They had to start early due to scheduling issues with the lanes themselves. They had a league coming in at 10. So they get this all ready, and then Mike and Jesse were on the way to the lanes, and there's an accident that they happened to witness and kind of be involved with, so they had to deal with that. And like, holy, and for them to show up and play the way they did, it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm over here complaining. I have to move my partner's house. I can't focus on bowling.
Didn't have an accident.
Yeah, I should just check myself.
But they came in. They played well. Obviously, clutched up to beat the Mayhem. And then they came up against you guys. Obviously, playing red hot. They kept it within 100 the first game, within 100 the second game. Those are solid matches. Nothing you can do.
Yeah, we were on pace for that 14 the first game, and we didn't feel like we were running away with that match.
Another Wiseman late to the party. What the heck?
What up?
An unexpected Wiseman.
Yeah. We did not expect you today.
It started earlier than I expected. Here I am.
Oh, well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Continue.
Well, we're not going over all that again. You got to jump right in the middle of this.
I don't have a clue what's happening. Just go
Perfect.
ahead.
Even better. And then we'll move over to our 2-3 matches. On the home hardware division, we had Toppler versus the Rock and Rollers. And they took the first game fairly handedly, and then the Rock and Rollers came in hot the second game. They were battling the whole way through, obviously missed out by 14 pins. Came down to the last bowler.
Yeah. And, it was, I think Marcello was playing 2, I think, in Toppler's lineup.
Yes. Yeah.
And threw that great shot in 10, gets roasted. He's like celebrating it because it was a great ball. And I don't know if he turned around and thought, oh crap, maybe I lost it. But then they realized they had the tie, and that was almost enough to pretty much seal the deal.
Right.
Especially what was happening on Rock and Roller side with all the head pins. And it was
For sure.
Even as a spectator, you could feel that roller coaster of such a great ball, ready to fist pump it, and then, oh crap, I just got roasted.
Yeah.
But then also oh, thank God we did it.
Mm-hmm. I also think Marcello got a little lucky because he really did rip a 3-pin, and he came back for a 5, and then he spared it the frame before. So I mean, I feel like always karma when it comes to bowling sometimes. So he got away with that one, but then he didn't get away with the other one. It all worked out in the end anyways, right? So just kind of how things work.
Yeah, it was funny. Me and Steve Barker, Al Paquette, and Lonnie were commentating that one, and Steve kind of had said it right before. He's like, oh, no, serious kickbacks or anything like that. And then sure enough, Cello picks the 3-pin clean, comes back, takes the deuce to give him the advantage going into 10, throws the first strike, and then gets roasted on the second one. And it's well, you get a little, take a little, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying he wouldn't have spared the 3-pin, but sparing 5 is a lot easier than a 3-pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, so even though it was a 7-point difference, it wasn't indicative to how close that match was.
Yeah. Not to rub salt in the wounds of the Rock and Rollers because they played really well, but they were going into 10 looking like they probably had a really solid chance at taking that total. No real issues. And their first 3 bowlers unfortunately punched. Mm-hmm. And then their 4 bowler banged out. And then Brad, and Brad and Derek, I think, were only 7 pins apart, both working on a strike, and Brad punched on the first ball.
Yeah.
So it was just...
Who was the tie?
That was Marcello and Brandon Tibbs.
Tibbs.
Oh,
Tibbs. Yeah, Smith was playing 4.
Yeah, Smith was playing 4.
So that's
Smith,
a huge tie, right? Because if they end up losing that team total, they still win by half a point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a huge tie.
It's a huge tie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, Katie punched, she had a chance, right? I mean, Brandon, you guys, whoever is playing singles, I know Tyler, you're playing singles. Watch out for Brandon. That guy, when he needs to throw a strike, he's so good, right? So
even the first match, Christine played a clean game, and he just went off like a 6 or 7 bagger.
Yeah. Crazy good. And then on the Cargill side, we had the Kingpins playing the Pinslayers, and it was a slugfest between the two of them. Obviously, Kingpins coming down to the last player once again, 3 pins. Ridiculous, but they unfortunately didn't need the team total. They just needed 2 points. They got a point up top. They stole a point from the Pinslayers, which sealed the deal. But yeah, it was.
Anthony
cool.
Came in and he played great.
Yeah. And I mean, I still think the Pinslayers, should have won the total. It should have been a lot closer. I think somebody came in with 5, missed 5. And honestly, at that point, you could tell that they already knew the game was over. So they're just finishing up the game, right? So
yeah. It's a little bit different this year. Last year, we had 2 7-1 flips. We had an 8-0 flip, right? This year, I was kind of expecting one of those 7-1 flips to happen. None of them did.
No,
Well,
we
maybe the
didn't.
next couple matches, eh?
Maybe.
We didn't see the flips like that, but we saw a lot closer totals, which was
Yeah.
still exciting.
Yeah.
But don't be
Oh,
wrong,
yeah.
like commentating the 8-0 flip was wild. Like
Yeah.
Megan Gallicano, Greg Giglick, and I sat there. I think all of our jaws on the floor watching it happen. But it's just as exciting when you're like, this team needs to win total, and they're like only up by 3 right now.
Yeah, there were lots of tight matches. There definitely wasn't. It didn't feel like there was any blowouts, even if it turned out that it was a 12-4 victory. It was 12-4, but it could have been easily 8 or like 9-7 or whatever, right? Like it was. They were good. Very, very good. So, since this is a full season 3 recap, we should probably go over some of the season and highlights and lowlights and all that stuff. But before we do that, we do have Next Gen versus Toppler on the home hardware side.
Third
And
time.
Dynamite playing Kingpins. Yeah, that's right. So Next Gen Toppler is the same division final as last year.
And the year before that.
Was it a division final the year before that too? Or was
It was the semifinal. I don't know if we did divisional finals that year, but
Oh, yeah, fair.
we had to beat Toppler to play your team in the finals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What
And
happened
then-
both years, Tyler?
Well, I don't know what happened the first year because I wasn't there. But the second year, the Bombers played really, really well. So I'm 0-1 in 5PL finals. So I'm going for that 50% this year.
I thought you win and lose as a team. So
Oh, no, we win as a team, but I don't lose. Except for the match that I lost last week. That's a different story.
I
The team
feel,
won.
I feel really good about the Open now.
well, yeah. What do you think happened last year at Masters? He's just like, oh, I wasn't on that team.
Oh, I don't know. What is Masters? What's going on here? We may have lost to Dream Crushers. But that's okay because, Next Gen's 3 for 3 for playoffs. I don't know about the Dream Crushers.
Yeah, no. 2-1. 2-1, yeah.
I think our division's a little deeper though. I mean,
Well, it might help if you shoot higher than like a 1370 next year.
no, for sure. But I mean, we don't have walkovers like the average pros in our division. So I mean, there's that too.
Wow.
Katie Hicks threw like a 330 at us, okay?
No, Katie's fine. I mean, I can name like 2 other players on that team that's a walkover.
Weird. Tim just got muted all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Henry shoots.
Jeez. Yeah. We should talk about the standings because we didn't talk much about this. How close, like you look from top to bottom. So Dynamite were 59 on the Cargill side, and the bottom team was 28.5. And then on the other side, Next Gen has 66 points, and the bottom team has 24 points. So quite a bit of spread from top to bottom. I would say more so on the home hardware side, but you look at Cargill side, there was 8 teams above 500,
Which is wild.
and home hardware side had 6 teams above 500.
Right, and honestly, you look at it too. I mean, Pinsani's brand new this year to our league, but knockouts, they were a playoff team last year. Eclipse were a playoff team last year, right? So I mean, and Avalanche, they're a good team if you look on paper, right?
Yeah.
So it just shows you can have good seasons, bad seasons, but it's a tight race there.
Yeah, which is what it should be, right?
Last year, we all discussed how, if you get over 500, you're good. That was the benchmark.
Yeah. Now, like, 500 might not be good enough. You need a little bit more.
Looking for 5.5.
And if everything didn't go sideways for Carnage at the end of that, like there was a very real possibility of having 4 teams within a half point for the final spot.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah. It was tight on the Cargill side. Obviously, it was tight on the home hardware side too, because 5-6 tied, right?
Mm-hmm.
You tie and then you lose out. That's such a rough go. Obviously, we felt it, but Holy Rollers, that's
Especially when you play. I can't remember when Holy Rollers played the Mayhem, but if you play that game in like week 3, that's something that happened back in October affecting you in April. Like that sucks.
Yeah. I can pull it up. When did the Mayhem threw their highest game of the season against the Holy Rollers? Just so everybody knows. They shot in their game 4, so whatever game that turned out to be, that would have been in January. So week 10, they shot 1490. Or no, sorry, 1562.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
So the Holy Rollers didn't have a chance.
No, they only shot 1100 though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
In retrospect, incredibly clutch bowling, like super solid.
Yeah. They knew that match was going to come down to the end, right?
Yeah.
But it just means every match matters, right?
Yeah, you never know.
Take it seriously right away, that's for sure.
That team total is huge, even if you're going 5-3.
Yeah. I mean, Misfits, same thing, right? I mean, if you look at that, okay, if you look at that standings, which teams are the most disappointing? I mean, I'll throw the Dream Crushers out there. I think obviously I talk a lot of shit, but
Yeah, rewind 6 minutes ago.
well, I'm not lying about Henry, but anyways, here though there, I think obviously our season was not what we expected. I mean, if you look at it, if we're struggling and we end up where we are, I mean, yeah, it's cool, but it's not what we go for, right? So I think next year it's going to be a little bit different. I think we are going to be back with a vengeance. Maybe that's our new team. Yeah.
Hey, rebrand.
That's what I said. We're going to get new shirts and rebrand.
Do you know what? Though? I tell you what.
Revengers.
I can tell you right now, the Sure Park skyline will look mint on the back.
You mean the 2-story buildings? Like there
Yeah,
is no
that's- I mean,
skyline.
It's just Festival Place.
Yeah.
That's it.
Regina
But-
has a better skyline than Sherwood Park does.
all we have is Festival Place. That's all we have. But here nor there, I think we had to be better, and we all know that.
You just have
But
to wear those
otherwise,
blue and gray jerseys. They were way better than the ones you wear now.
Oh,
Well,
no,
actually-
naughty.
In
no.
season 2, they weren't.
Maybe
they were
we still
terrible
have the
for
new color.
performance and design. Sorry, Carrie.
Hey, no worries. No worries. Hey, those shirts have a championship. That's all that matters.
They do, absolutely.
Yeah, actually, I haven't thrown one in a while.
If you're going to talk about the Dream Crushers being disappointing, you have to talk about the Bombers as well. Defending champs, not able to get a playoff spot.
Yeah. I think that's the crazy part is both championship teams happen to be in the same division just due to season 1 only being one big division, right? Or sorry, smaller divisions.
Yeah.
But like both are really close to making it, but both are out. So
That's good.
But we did beat them.
right?
We were above them, though. Just to point that out.
by half a point. That's all that matters.
I think I yelled that in the pocket when I walked by when I was changing. I was like, "At least we beat the Bombers." We have a rivalry. You know what? It's fun loving.
It's because you don't shut your mouth. We have a rivalry with every team. We're the most hated team there is. Why do you
know
think
what?
that is?
I'm okay with that. You know, at the end of the day, I think it's cool when you go to Youth Challenge and you bring up our name, everybody boos us. It means, and honestly, it means people are watching and people are taking note of what teams they like and who they like. I think it's fine. Like, there's always going to be a good team. There's always going to be a team that somebody doesn't like. It is what it is. And
Tim,
it's
you're like Nickelback. Like, people actually do like them, but it's not cool to like them. So everybody just hates them.
Carrie, that's probably the funniest thing I've ever heard you say. And correct. That's very good. That's a very good analogy. Yeah.
I think on the Schwartz sides, we got to look at the Lumberjacks again. Not the season that they were looking for, but we've talked for a season and a half about how that team should be in the mix, like top 2, top 3 in the division. And I think the back half of their season showed that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
getting better.
Yeah, I hate to say you have to look at teams. I think Trash Pandas, like you said, they got beat up pretty good.
Oh,
That's not really their fault.
Well, and like exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think Snowman is a good team on paper, right? And sometimes it's luck of the draw who you play against too, right? And I think next year you're going to see Snowman a lot better for next year.
I really
I
want to see.
disagree with this comment. Nickelback has bangers. The Dreamcatchers only have Katie Rayner.
wow. Do you only listen to Silver Side Up? Like, is that the only album you actually listen to, or?
Cherry picking is 100% allowed on this podcast. I don't know what you're talking about here.
But this is how you remind me.
Oh
Ooh,
gosh.
here we
Photograph.
go.
She keeps me up.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Come on, Tyler, be our little rock star, right? Like,
we kind of touch on the Trash Pandas there. So yeah, the Trash Pandas averaged 258, like as a team, but 265 was averaged at them.
Yeah.
They got beat up on.
Yeah.
Like,
And like this isn't meant to like bash them, but like I am curious as to what the average pros are going to do this year, because they mixed up their lineup last year because they're like, hey, like look, I mean, you know, relegation round was a possibility. We want to do some things, and it wasn't as successful as they were hoping, I'm sure. So I'm intrigued to see what the off season is going to look like for those guys.
you know what? This off season, I think, is going to have some shakeups, which I'm excited for. That's kind of the neat part about this pro league. I know a lot of teams won't have shakeups just due to the remote places that they play out of. But like, we got 5 teams in Edmonton. We got 3 teams in Winnipeg. We're going to have possibly more teams in other cities that are trying to get in. Like, there's going to be some shakeups on some rosters, and I don't know how people are going to take it.
Yeah,
Grandma,
I just want to say, like, look, this is a professional league, right? So there are going to be some changes. I know it's hard, but please don't take things personally if things happen. And I know it's really hard because, like, these are people you play with all the time, and rejection's going to hurt, or switching teams, and somebody switches teams without, like, you know, you really realizing that's going to happen, and they jump off your team and stuff. Like, look, like, at the end of the day, people just want to compete and compete well, and like, don't let it affect friendships, because like we are out here for fun, but they're also out here to win, and this is the professional side of it, right? So
And there's enough money. Like, we went over it already. Like, there's almost $16,000 up for grabs just to win the thing, right? So yes, we're all friends. Yes, it is 5-pin bowling. Everybody's in a family, but like.
fuck you, Barker.
bye.
Hey, are you guys making me
Two
coach?
might
Are you
end
guys
up
making
being
me
an average
coach?
pro.
Are you making me pro? Well, yeah. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even play for them. That team sucks. I have no
Oh my
chance.
god.
All right, so we don't have to throw them under the bus. They're just gonna do it themselves. Yeah. You suck, Henry. That's
Poor
funny.
guy.
Oh no, he loves every second of it, and that guy trash talks more than anyone. It's fine.
Yeah.
Are we doing relegation this year? Is that confirmed?
There is no relegation this year. There is going to be a 2-team expansion.
Bum, bum, bum. Breaking
And
news.
it's going to balance out the schedule. So there will be 4-hour Sundays every time. Teams will have 2 games every time. So you're not coming in for 1 match. We know the average pros were victim to that last year, and I think it was Tim's fault. But they played 7 weeks of 1 game, and I feel bad for them. So, but no, we discussed it, and me and Tim had talked about it actually quite a few months ago, that adding 2 teams will balance the schedule and make it a lot more level across the field. The only thing is we don't know if every team is coming back yet. Letter of intents aren't all in. We do have teams that want in. So if you're a team that is coming back and you haven't sent your letter of intent in, you could get bumped out by just filling in from new teams. So
And I mean, like, I think we'll touch base with those teams maybe, and then see if we give them another nudge. But I think we're going to be in a good spot for those teams out there. I think you got to open up your availability more too. I mean, come on, guys.
trust me,
You missed that
this year,
segment.
yeah, this year things are going to be a lot more strict. If the proprietor doesn't have room for you, you might be in a city that has more than one proprietor. You may have to look around and schedule. The 5PL is a combination of teams. We're not a combination of proprietors. So find a place to play in. That's all we're saying.
Haven't sent in, misplaced, it's all the same thing.
I'm running for commissioner. I don't like this.
That'd be smooth, actually, John.
We never lost to you.
I've never seen you run for anything.
No, I don't. That's actually a personal value of mine.
I know we probably can't talk about the teams that are interested in coming in, but I think there are gonna be some solid teams coming in, and there's more people like out east too. I hear, and like.
So, but what we can say is, if all 24 teams are coming back, the new teams that want in, there's only 2 spots. We will have a mini tournament. It won't be a tournament style so much. It might be just a qualifying round or something like that. And the top 2 teams will get in. Unfortunately, we can't bring everybody into the league, and I know the teams know that. So be ready when it comes to the game day that you have to play your best in order to get in. So can we say how many teams are interested? More than 1, less than 10. How's that?
I love the mystery.
Do you know what? And this is the other thing, because Carrie and I and Daryl know, and Dex and whoever's part of it. When we actually push came to shove, and we needed money or a franchise fee, people started dropping. So even though there's some people that are interested and say they're gonna put their names forward, until things come out, it doesn't necessarily end up being the way it is.
Oh, you guys should see. We have full sustainability plans that were submitted. This was all part of the process. We are not accepting people that just see the show and like, hey, my league team can play in that. No, you have to come up with a sustainability plan. You have to come up with everything, a roster, how you're going to maintain the franchise fees, all that stuff. So the teams that are submitted have filled that all out with ideas, logo ideas, colors, all that stuff. They're way ahead of the curve. We just have to find out how many teams we're going to let in so we can run the tournament and get those concepts all started. There's some good ones out there.
Obviously, this season's still wrapping up, but we have to look forward to next season. When do they need to have their stuff in by, so that we can start getting this going? Yeah.
So everybody that has sent me interest, I've added them to a private group on Facebook to tell them, but we are hoping to get their sustainability and plans and all that in before the end of this season. So before the end of playoffs.
Perfect.
It's looking like first part of May, but we're still trying to find a finals date. But
yeah. Awesome. That'll give Bradson some time to figure out new logos and jerseys and those things too. And yeah, all that shit takes time.
Yeah, that's the biggest part, right? Is finding not only the concepts and all that and the colors and all that, but it's getting it together and getting jerseys and all that stuff ahead of time, right?
Yeah, especially we don't want to start a league and have a team play without their jerseys, especially in a professional league. So the sooner we get shit done, the better.
So we talked about like kind of big impressions with teams. Do you guys have any favorite moments from the season? Obviously, it's a long season, but is there anything that like kind of stands out to you guys?
I'm trying not to be a dick.
It's so hard for you, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, there's a couple, like, top of my head, watching the first game of Caribou. I thought it was really cool. Like, they came out and they just prove that they belong in the league. I thought that was kind of cool. I like moments like that. I can't say there's certain moments where somebody's banged out or looked really good on that. I mean, there's a lot of those. I can't really think on top of my head that way. I just like when you go into the last week and there's 3 or 4 teams that have a chance to make the finals on each of the sides. I think that shows parity. I mean, like Carnage, Misfits, us. I mean, if Regina went, nothing, there was a chance there, right? I mean, it was good. I mean, those are the moments you like. And I don't really think that any team lost their spot, right? I think everybody earned their spot, right? So
I liked seeing the teams that like showed growth throughout the season. Pinsanity for one. Like, I mean, it was a rough start down the line, and then they started winning a bunch of totals, and like after halfway through the season, they were already in underdog status, 100%, right? And they came out and like they made a difference in the league. I mean, they came out, they snuck was it a win against the Bombers?
A point and a half off the Bombers because they tied total.
Yeah, exactly.
And that knocked them out of the playoffs.
They split, and that exactly like that's a huge moment there, and like so they showed a lot of growth at the end of the season. It was awesome to see.
Do you think? I might be poking the bear. I'm not too sure. Do you think the point and a half knocked the Bombers out, or was it the 2 8-0s they suffered?
I think it's a point and a half. I think we can all look back, and I think that that maybe how things were set up that game, they weren't there for success. It wasn't against any of the players on the teams. I'll put it that way. So I think it was that. The 8-0s, they're going to happen. But if you ever watched the Bombers, when they get rolling as a team, they're probably one of the best because they feed off each other, right? So, and a lot of those 8-0s, they came back and won the next game pretty good afterwards. So it's take it and it cometh, right? Like we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Ty, did you have any highlights that you want to?
I mean, aside from the Dream Crushers missing the playoffs because of one frame, did I have any favorite moments?
That was mine. Fuck you.
It wasn't you. There was 1,000 moments, and you hit the middle. So, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, every POA bowler says the same thing. Glad you hit the middle.
Yeah, great job, Tim.
Yeah.
Personally, like playing in the league, actually, like last week when we played against the Venom, just as we were starting game 2, Julie started having a nosebleed, and she's like shoving tissues up her nose and then like ripping them out when she needs to go bowl, and then she's like throws her strike and she runs off the lane like this, but is like trying to hide it so she's not on camera. And I'm like, do you really want us to like message them and say like we need a moment? And she's like, no, it's fine, I've done this before. And then like her and the rest of the ladies go and throw 20 marks in a row, and I'm like, why are you such a shit show, Julie? And why is this your best state?
Unreal. Right.
I had so many jokes, and I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
She had a full-on brain bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of the same as you guys. I really liked seeing the growth from the teams, and like even playing against the average pros and having to throw 9 and 10 against them. Like when we played them last season, we caught them early in the season. So like, no one was really in that bowling mindset. So there was a little bit more of a disparity between the teams. But this year we had them the very last match, for us at least. And like they were in top form, and they were a competitive team.
Mm-hmm.
Carrie.
I watched so many of them that it's all kind of a blur. I would say Scotty shooting a 408 in playoffs. Like, I know it's not part of the regular season, but just sitting there commentating, watching it, like he was on the middle, tons of rotation like Scotty always has, and just there were no doubters. Like it didn't seem like he was. I don't know. It seemed like old Scotty, which is kind of scary. But
That's Dakota with the 17s, right?
yep, it sure is. Uh-huh. I like it. I like it. Mitch's got Courtney stepped on lane pizza during a tight match. That's
What?
rock and roller's high moment.
What is lane pizza? Is that like counter pizza? But
It's
up the lane?
Derek Gall's pizza from a decade ago during
Oh,
Vegas.
when
Spat into
Gino.
Gino's
Oh, that
face.
was. I don't think Tyler knows that story. Holy cow!
I don't know if it's a decade ago. I'm not that old.
He yelled,
Yeah,
"You
it's
betcha!" when he
a
was
long
hammered
time
on
ago.
Heritage Traditional Bakers, and he spit a piece of pizza up on Gino's lane.
He went. He took a big bite of his pizza. Went up. He was awful. He was throwing gutters, tupids. He was hammered out of his tree. Goes up, throws a strike, and goes, "You betcha!" But he still had pizza in his mouth. Just shot out and hit Gino straight in the sweater vest.
Not the sweater vest.
Oh man! I
It
think it was
good.
before WCBT, so it was a long time ago.
It was a good time.
Ugh.
Pretty funny. That's what lane pizza is. Do we want to discuss maybe possible MVPs?
Yeah, that's like my favorite part.
So we can pull this up here. Let's see how close we can get here. One more. There we go. So
Maybe talk us through like what are the requirements for MVP? Like frames played.
So there is no requirement. So what usually we do is we take the top 5 males, top 5 females based on points and then sorted by average. And then we submit that to the league. All the players and coach and managers can vote on it. And then, after the voting is completed, we decide who the MVP is based on those votes. So it's a player's vote.
For male and female, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, obviously, Derek, that's ridiculous.
But you know,
Pretty
but you look at Derek, and then you look at Matt, right? Matt has 3 less games, so he would add 110. It could have been very close, right? But
And I
if
gotta
you're
say
looking
that
at
team
it,
is
you have-
very different with Matt in too.
yeah,
He didn't
I
play
guess,
for a little bit, and then he magically showed up to play us.
yeah.
Goodbye, Dream Crusher season.
Candlepin Worlds.
Yeah, no, it had nothing to do with that. Anyway, I have to say, for me personally, it would be Derek, just simpler because he has the extra points in there and more games played, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he's been a rock down there the whole time, so
Yeah.
I mean, there's that.
The one that surprised me for the female side is Jana, right? She's only played 74 frames in the regular season because she came off the bench a few times and she stole points.
It's amazing.
Yeah, she has more points than games played.
Well,
That's impressive.
and Jana's a phenomenal player. So here's a question for you. You know, when you play your opens or all stars, right? Is there a need to have a minimal amount of frames? Is it 70 frames? Because I still think 74 is enough to have an idea out of 110. But do you need X amount of frames in order to qualify for it, or is it 80 frames? Right? Like you don't know, right?
You know what? If I was pitching this to, let's say, like the MVP voting was to the audience, then I think you would have to like say, hey, you need to have 80 frames, you need to have 90 frames, or whatever the case may be. But we're pitching this to the players. The players should know, like, hey, this player, 74 frames, yeah, that's not a lot of frames, but look how many points they took.
Yeah. Well, and I
Like,
think
a
as
big
players
moment.
voting on it, we know that those players were influential in those moments as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like Jana coming in and stealing those points, like that's a huge influence on the team. Whereas like the audience may just see that and not understand the context.
Yeah. They just see, 74 frames, that doesn't seem like much. It should go to somebody that played more frames. Well, I guess I'm kind of influencing maybe some people's thoughts here, but that's the way I look at it. And you can go down all the way down to Katie, Josie, 270. Both Katie's are in the mid 270s. They all around the same amount of frames, right? All same points. So like those are ridiculous, right?
Yeah. But you want your MVP to be known to the audience as well, right? Like, I'm sure there's some basketball players and hockey players who have really good stats, but they don't play as much, so your audience can't connect with them, and they don't see the value in them as much as they do with like the McDavids and the Kucherovs and the Austin Matthews and that kind of stuff.
The only reason why I say frames played a little bit is just I have a hard time with maybe you play twice, you miss a week in here, you're losing 20 frames. Possibly, right?
Like poor Jeremy Harrison-Chuk, 56 frames, 314.
I mean, no, but he was available sometimes. He's never played him, right? So
he loses his chance at MVP.
He was available, but he was coming off night shift, so we didn't know if he was going to be like half asleep or off like 3 rock stars deep.
That's something you guys got to discuss as a team. And maybe Tyler, you'd be like, I don't need to be the number one guy. You can put him in.
I didn't. I barely.
Tyler barely played. Like, let's find Ty here. Here we go. 63 frames, 300 average.
Yeah.
And you came off the bench a few times this year too.
Yeah, there was games that I didn't play at all. Got yanked. They didn't need me. I don't know if I got pulled this season. I think I only went in.
Oh, really?
I should have got pulled up a lot.
Oh, all the Dream Crushers are down here. 4 points.
Rayner was up there.
Yeah, Katie by far was the best player on the Dream Crushers this year. Let's be fair. 275 average. Dex was next with 267, I think. 264. Adam had a pretty good average, but unfortunately he didn't get some wins. We can pull that up. Let's look at the Dream Crushers here. This is the Dream Crusher show.
Tim looks real excited.
My 235 average.
Look at this. 275, 264, 262, 257, 234, 234, 233, 227. We need to be better, team. We need to be better.
Yep. We got some things in the works.
It's hard to compete like that.
Step 1, we need an actual coach,
manager?
someone to manage. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Getting a manager that doesn't live in the same city as you, that worked out pretty well for us.
We tried that once, but then that manager decided to go play for a team, but then also vacation for over half that team season.
You can't play on vacation, but you can coach on vacation.
You definitely can. He was watching the shows anyways.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
You can also coach while coaching other things.
Flat down. Hey, Luke. Come on. You're in.
Just be another bald brother for the team. Hey, let's talk about this. How much does Nelson, Frank, and Dexter look alike now?
No. Nelson looks like me.
Yeah, so as Ryan O'Callahan is the Walmart Carey Kreitz, Nelson is the Zellers Dexter.
Zellers. But Zellers is so much better than Walmart.
Well, I kind of like Nelson.
Is he
I'm glad you can read between the lines.
I want some Zeddy bucks.
Wow.
Oh, man. That's the great thing about this league, too.
Could you imagine?
Oh, yeah, we can take Ryan as our coach.
Virtual, baby. ROC, you're in.
They don't have that much internet in Thompson.
Oh, yeah, fair.
We don't accept dial-up. That would be intriguing. He would fit the shit show.
Yeah. We just have him on FaceTime just sitting off to the side and then just mute him when we don't want to listen to him anymore.
So the entire time.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But we do need a manager.
We do. We absolutely need a manager. Yeah.
It's always an option, Ryan. Keep us in the loop.
Yeah, you know what?
Let us know.
For those listeners out there listening, if you're interested in becoming our manager, send in a formal an application and what you'd bring to the team, either like skills or monetary wise. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I can do up a real good Google form for you guys. You'll get so many great submissions.
Yeah, it'll just be you putting in bullshit 17 times.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My internet is better than Glencairn's. That is.
That was so bad, honestly.
Did we talk about this? Okay, I'm not picking on the Revengers. I'm not picking on Glen. Well, I am picking on Glencairn because this is going to be the topic. But if you have a pro league team, invest in a cell phone data plan and run it off data if the Wi-Fi is garbage, because we might have to start cutting teams if we can't see your pins.
I had no idea. All I see is Josie running back, and I'm like, wow. That's all I see. And then Danny went on there, and he went through 11 gigs of data, and God bless him, it worked really.
It worked great.
Yeah.
You know,
Next gen looked pristine compared to Glencairn. That's all I'd like to say.
You guys have come leaps and bounds from the garbage that you guys were to start.
the shoe holder.
You were the worst of every team, and the one that should have been the best of every team.
No, we should not have been the best.
You have the youngest, most technological people on the
Your
the
team
whole
is
league.
literally called Next Gen, and you've got a frickin' Star Trek logo on your hat.
Yeah, Star Trek's from like the 70s.
Yeah,
We're
and
all
they
stuck
still
in
had
the
better
70s.
technology than we have now.
Okay, our team is made
Get
of
it
Brad.
together.
Brad is like 90 years old.
Yeah,
There's
body,
me.
not
I have-
physically.
No, Brad's the last samurai for sure.
I have about 0 Fs left in my F bucket, so I really just show up and bowl.
It has
who is
gotten
it?
a lot better. It has
Yeah.
gotten a lot better.
Jeremy and Haley are like in retirement years because they're 30, so we're looking at putting them out to pasture. One gray hair and you're off the team.
You keep talking. You're not going to make it to 30, sir.
Next Gen has the highest turnover rate, as if we'd be shocked if the
Yeah,
entire
you know
team
what? That
won.
is fair. That is fair.
Yeah, your turnover rate is
Oh,
ridiculous.
Okay, so I got a question for you. I'm not a Trekkie. I don't I'm not a loser or anything like that. But
Wow.
Wow.
but next
okay,
gen
we're a
was
bunch of
from-
bowlers.
Who else do you want to?
next gen.
Continue,
Next gen.
Shrek.
Yeah. Hey. Anyways, next gen was obviously one of their things. What was the next title of their series? Like there was.
Next Gen was never.
It was.
Oh, there was like
the
a Star
next
Trek The Next
generation.
Generation.
Yeah. What was the next? Was there another one, or did it just go extinct?
No, I think there was quite a few more shows, wasn't there?
Someone get the Google machine going.
Because that could be your next name when everybody gets a little older.
Is
You
it
can
just
join that.
Picard? Oh, Deep Space Nine.
There you go.
The
Deep
Bonnie
Space
Dune
Balls.
Deep Space. Ooh,
Yeah.
Deep Space
that,
Balls.
that needs some
Oh, yeah.
workshopping.
There was, yeah, Voyager. You can be
Voyager.
Voyager.
That's too bad. What's a spaceship? I'm
There
on
you
board
go.
with that.
Yeah.
That needs some workshopping.
Oh, yeah, Deep Space Nine. I don't know. Deep Space Balls, Deep Space.
I don't like that. You're muted. No,
Spaceballs.
this is no.
Just kick him
Uninvited.
out there.
Out of the
You,
chat.
you definitely would sell. Definitely.
At least 2 more hats you've sold
At
already.
least, yeah.
I think
the
I'm
hats
down
would
to-
sell.
Do
7.
you imagine this logo on that? Oh, unreal.
Get out of here. Jesus Christ. I can't. This
Hey
man.
guys, yeah, but seriously though, like,
Last Thursday, Ty offered me a hat. I asked if I could get it for free. He said no. So he's really
They're
not
high
trying to
value
get rid of
items.
them. Really not getting rid of them.
I gave my hat away because somebody wanted it. Because we sold all of our shit.
Correct.
To be fair, I never wanted the hats. And yet somehow they're in my trunk.
Why do I feel like you just got one in your nightstand?
ROC, come on.
Can we
man.
block Tim and ROC from this?
Yeah, I think
This
this.
is not Podcast After Dark.
No. Wow, we reached our hour mark. I think we're gonna shut it down. I don't really care about anybody else's opinions anymore.
I do like that.
Was there anything left on our agenda?
Not really. Okay, so our website is now updated. So if you go to
I thought that was a new
fivepinuniverse.ca,
website. It looks good.
it's not bad. It's a way better layout, easier to find stuff, all that good stuff. We will be adding more to it.
Mitch, just because we're the only Sherwood that can, find a way to exist. We didn't kill our Sherwood. Mitchell.
Yeah, fair.
Updated
Yeah,
website.
updated
Check out the
website.
store. You can still buy merch.
There's a store. You can still buy 5PL merch. We'll probably be shutting that down sometime in mid-June to change over products, change new logos, all that stuff, because I'm sure there'll be a rebrand for some teams, but
This one will not. Until those hats are gone, there will be no rebranding because I am not selling dead product. Already dead.
Oh, it could be throwback.
Retro.
I mean, like
Retro logos.
Especially when you change your name to Voyager.
you know, like if you go to the 5PL merch shop, you can't buy the new Dream Crusher jerseys. You have to buy the old ones. But now we're probably going to get new jerseys, so then you can buy the old ones because they're garbage.
What color do we want?
I don't know, Tim.
I think you guys are just a little bit like elitist and you don't want people wearing the same shirts as you.
Yeah, 100%. We're not dumb. We got to stand out, Ty. We sure know our bowling doesn't.
Yeah, 76 high game.
we didn't really have any bad games though. Like we didn't have any atrocious games. Most of our games are like, well, maybe we did. Most of our games are around like mid to high 12s.
I got all the stats. I got all the stats here.
Is this just like another segment of Let's Bully the Dream Crushers? I love it.
1131 and 1135.
Okay, those were great.
Those are not good. Those
That was
were
early
not
in the
good.
game?
That's reminiscent.
One was our third week, and the other one was against the Misfits, who beat us in a tie.
It's very reminiscent of when another team maybe shot 1,600 one week and then maybe shot 1,000 the following week.
Oh, yeah. On 17-inch bases.
Yeah, but we were in the middle of the house. It was garbage. No one plays in the middle of the house.
Well,
No,
everybody call. Everybody
we're not
call.
taking any bets, especially anyone. Ty, you can't do this. We don't want to ban anyone for life.
Yeah, Otani, you're up.
Yeah, how is that guy?
Oh, no, wait. Otani, you're in. You're
Yeah,
in.
exactly.
Actually.
Yeah,
Someone just got kicked out of the NBA, though.
yeah, Porter.
Yeah.
His brother
Gambling on
plays
his own
for
shit. Gambling on his own prop bets.
Dude, do you see that 3-pointer he went after? Try to hit a prop? Dude, it was like half court. It wasn't even close. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. We're actually gonna make one set. Lane one is gonna be 16 inches.
Well,
You'll still blow by corners.
15.
You'll still blow by. Have you seen Carey throw a ball?
I'm not gonna say a single word what I want to say to that.
so
I'll tell you guys after. All three of you, I'll tell you after.
So, if anybody's interested, it can be on this podcast or listening to this podcast. We are looking at doing a rule book for the 5PL because there's a million questions every year. We need help coming out with an official rule book. And then that way we can send it to all these teams that always have these questions and be like, please look it up before you fry my brain every day. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Don't worry. Usually how it works is that you have a rule book and people start to try to navigate something in there to get it right anyway.
Well, that's already been happening. Trust me. But
Yeah.
at least then I can just say refer that.
What is that?
was
What
like-
is that? What is
like
that?
40th episode is when we can that. I think we ran out of questions. That's what.
Yeah. And
What
then we just
happened
started
with-
fixing the rule books. So
Al would be good at it.
Does Al do stuff like that? All we have right now is just the sheet. I'm sure that's not nearly enough. We just say follow C5 rules except for this, and this.
Except for the fact you're not alternating lanes.
Oh, AI. I gotcha. AI.
Oh.
in all fairness, it looks like Al.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, Al Paquette would be great.
Boomers. Wow.
Just Carey.
Yeah. Fair. Fuck off.
Actually,
You called me a millennial the other day, so
You
I can't be
you are a
both.
millennial. I'm a millennial.
I know.
Yeah.
I can't be a boomer if I'm a millennial.
just look like one.
terms.
What's happening this weekend?
Oh yeah, we have the Diamond Ladies Classic that 5-Pin Universe will be streaming, so you'll be able to see it. Also, we have our first divisional finals, Heartland Bowl or Heartland Kingpins versus the Dakota Dynamite at 10 o'clock in the morning,
On
Alberta
Sunday.
time. On Sunday.
On the Sunday.
We will be posting that tomorrow, so you'll get all the event updates, all that good stuff. But yeah, it is happening Sunday morning at 10 a.m. So we will know who the first team into the finals is. And it's a 3-game total points match.
So there could be some big swings.
Yep. Unless you have Heidi Mapstone on your team and she throws 9 baggers at you, then
Who do you think's more
Can't swing
nervous?
Maybe you shouldn't put Tim against Heidi then. Simple solution.
Actually, you know what? I've been crushing her lately. And I actually
Heidi's basically Jerry Kide 2.0.
no, because I've been crushing her, and I talked smack because I thought her team was better, and I was like, "This is the last fucking game all year, and I'm gonna take you down." I crushed her on Sunday, and then I find out we're like the 2 bottom teams on Sunday, so I'll see her again. But I will say that I am playing with Heidi for the Bakers for green gold, so I think at least hopefully she throws some strikes for us.
What was the selling point? Was it Brett or Heidi?
It was me.
No, it was no. In all fairness, Brett was like, you want Heidi? I was like, yeah, I guess we'll just give her an invite. No, it was cool. Like,
we have somebody from California watching.
Hey man, let's build a center.
Yeah.
Let's make one. Let's
Where
make
you
one
at?
down in Cali.
As everybody moves down there to work there because it's warm weather all the time, except for earthquakes. I don't want an earthquake.
But how
I don't
great
like
would
that.
it be to host a cash tournament there every year?
Well, it depends on like where in California are we talking?
Yeah, like
Like San Fran, LA, fine. Like
Oakland.
North.
Everything works out well in Oakland.
yeah, all the teams stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or build a little 2-lane center in Mexico. Go host some of our games down there.
Cuba.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So for that, catch us this weekend. Next week's podcast is the ladies' podcast. So we switch weeks with them. So they'll be hosting you next week. And then May 1st, there will be no podcast. We are hosting the Schwartz Division Finals. Next Gen versus who are you playing again? Toppler.
Yikes.
In LA.
All right, LA, here we go.
Nice. There's some money in LA. I'm sure someone would be willing to fund a bowling center.
I think so.
Interesting.
You gotta find one of those like obscure.
Yes. We're gonna have a chain all over. I love it.
You gotta find one of those like obscure Canadian celebrities that went to like YBC Nationals in like their first year of Bantams and then never bowled YBC again and is now like some big movie star.
Dallas Smith.
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly. But that's in Nashville, so like wrong.
what about Larry Walker? Oh wow!
Did you just hear the crickets?
Larry Walker is MO Major League Baseball
Could
Hall
you
of Famer.
stop making that face?
And
I don't know who that is, and I feel like I'm supposed to know who that is.
He won
greatest
the Fraser
Canadian
Valley
baseball
Junior
player.
singles.
How
And
old is he though?
That's fine. But it doesn't matter. And he won. He used to work in Maple Ridge.
He may
I
not
thought Joey-
want to invest money when he's in retirement.
Larry
Just
Walker is
saying.
57 years old.
Oh, that's it, really?
That's
You're
like
retired
Gary's
early.
age. He's good to go.
Excuse me?
I thought Joey Votto was the best Canadian baseball player of all time.
No. I've had
Close second
pretty-
though. Close second. Roy Halladay.
So it's
So,
been a
there.
pleasure being on tonight. We'll see you guys all in a couple of weeks.
You bet.
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Well, not next week, not the week after.
Correct. Forgot how calendars work.
And that'll
Sounds-
be the Heritage preview show.
It will be.
Yeah.
Will be. Well, thanks again, guys. Thanks for the recap. If there's anything we missed, post it on our wall. I don't know.
Yell at us. Yell at Tim.
Send us an email.
Yell at Tim. I like that idea better. Send it his
Yeah.
way.
Big fan.
All right. Have a good week, guys.
See you guys later.